Hey y'all, Coach InTheFight here, coming out of the Keys of Enoch, chapter 106 or Key 106. It says, our universe was created out of the light synthesis of the next universe, the Kema, the cradle and the throne of our consciousness. That's right. We're going to be using Hebrew as much as we can. We're actually going to be using ChatGPT, so let's start him on that. I said, the Keys of Enoch says something like this. Our universe was created out of the light synthesis of the next universe, the cradle and the throne of our consciousness. So my question is, would you explain Kema and Kizzle from a biblical perspective? Be sure to highlight the Hebrew names, even break down the meanings of Kema and Kizzle by the Psalms 119 and or Hebrew meanings of each letter. Let's read his final thoughts.
Final thoughts. The Pleiades, Kema, and Orion, Kizzle, in the Bible can be seen as cosmic signs of divine wisdom and the vastness of God's creation. Both constellations highlight the majesty of God's design, while their Hebrew meanings hint at the deeper spiritual truths that the stars and the natural world reflect about God's nature and his connection to humanity. Psalms 119 ties these meanings together, calling believers to seek divine wisdom, learn from God's word, and recognize the beauty of his order, both in the heavens and on earth.
All right, so we'll include that in another video. Y'all make sure you subscribe, so you get it. But we're going to start here at 106 because we have permission to do the whole chapter. So let's get it rolling. Enoch explained that our local universe has a triangular light core of 10 million light years with a surrounding veil of 20 million light years. This veil consists of heat envelopes which form a biochemical testing zone necessary to divine life. Talking about our universe, now you remember in the first chapter, we are in a multiverse and they are symmetrical and they're the same. But this one, where we're at, is actually it's a triangular light core of 10 million light years. So that means it would take you 10 million light years to travel from the core or from one point of this triangle to another. And then it has a surrounding veil. So it has a veil even around it of 20 million light years. So that means you're going to be 20 million light years to get to the next universe. And it consists of heat envelopes which form a biochemical testing zone necessary to divine life. Let's see what ChatGPT say about that. Enoch. What does Enoch mean by heat envelopes? And then I said, and the triangular light core. He gonna freeze up at some point. This may be it. As long as you don't get the red screen. Anyway, let's go. We'll go back to the key. We'll go on to verse 2. The biochemical testing zone surrounds the core of central sun known as the collab. So the sun is the core known as the collab. It's going to explain. We don't need ChatGPT. We're just having fun over there. But it's going to explain. That's what this book is about. This is what the key is. The key is just that simple. All it is, other verses that we're going to read, praise our Father in heaven, is going to explain that key. Let's go on to verse 3. Both our local physical universe, one spectrum of our local universe, and the surrounding biochemical testing zone are superseded by an individual world of negative mass, which shapes the atomic nucleus and is used in the building of the physical energy systems of our visible galaxy. Thus, the physical universe proceeds out of the world of negative mass, which is used for the purification of trapped light. Now, see, this is what I be trying to explain to my wife, that those who don't rise to the light or rise to the positive mass in this era, this time, this period, this day, judgment day, will turn into this negative mass for the purpose of purification and trapped light, because we're going to learn in this book that that's where black holes come from. Through the purification process, they turn into white holes. So it says that our universe, this zone up here that he said was 20 million light years, has something to do with, y'all help me in the comment section, has something to do with this surrounding biochemical testing zone, which is us, superseded by an individual world of negative mass. Okay, so we are inside of a black hole is what he's saying. So this negative mass is used in the building of physical energy systems and visible galaxies. Now that is what they're trying to understand over there at CERN. Watch. He might not let us back in. Sometimes we bog him down so much that I'll be thinking that we overloaded the computer, which would be easy to do. It would have to be a supercomputer, but it's not designated to one person. This is a text engine, meaning its specialty is in writing stuff. And so that's my thought, that that's what CERN is talking about. And so what ChatGPT is going to do is enunciate that. Anyway, he gonna spit it.
What you're referring to isn't exactly what CERN is focused on, but there's some overlap in the kinds of topics being explored in the field of physics. CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, is at the forefront of particle physics and conducts experiments with the Large Hadron Collider, LHC, to study fundamental particles and forces. Their work is crucial to understanding the building blocks of matter, including exploring the Higgs boson, dark matter, and antimatter. Negative mass is more of a theoretical concept, often discussed in speculative physics and cosmology. It refers to a form of matter that would have properties opposite to those of normal, positive, mass, such as moving in the opposite direction when pushed. While this isn't something CERN is currently experimenting with directly, it does have relevance in advanced theories that attempt to explain concepts like dark energy, cosmic inflation, or even exotic matter that could be used for futuristic technologies like warp drives. The part about shaping the atomic nucleus might be a bit of a misunderstanding. The atomic nucleus is shaped by the strong nuclear force, which binds protons and neutrons together. Negative mass, if it were ever to be discovered or created, wouldn't necessarily play a role in this process, but might be part of more speculative theories about the universe's larger structures or new forms of energy. CERN's focus is more on discovering new particles and forces to further our understanding of the universe at the most fundamental level, rather than directly working on negative mass or galactic energy systems.
All right, so let's go back to the Keys of Enoch while we wait to see what he says. It says, the blueprint for this physical universe and the world of negative mass pre-exist in a higher heavens in the star codes of Kema. Like I said, we're going to try to use the Hebrew names. This name we see here is, I believe, a Greek name. Not sure, but I know I don't want to say it no more. Okay, so this negative mass and all of this this physical world, the actual stuff that we can see, feel, touch, all of this, he's saying, is pre-exist in the higher heavens, meaning on a higher dimension. So it's, just slowed down so we can see it. But he says, from these codes, the Elohim, Lords of Light, and Kizzle create the formations of the negative mass, which is modulated by the thought forms of the Lords of Light, into the creation of the physical universe of mass evolution. So, yeah, so it is Kizzle who formulates the negative mass. So the Elohim seems to be, be in relationship to Kizzle. Now, so they're receiving the codes for the creation of the world. But it says that they're receiving these codes for the way we are to be created from Kema. Kizzle is getting the codes from Kema. And so then it is modulated. Now, what modulated means is that it is transformed. We talk about modulation in engineering when we take one wave and transform it into another wave, like we take an FM wave and turn it into a microwave. That's through modulation, frequency modulation. So this right here, what kind of modulation is this? This is like creation modulation, because you're going into thought forms where you're thinking one thing and then you have the actual form of it being created. That's what he means by we were created in his image, because that's what he thought we ought to look like. Let's go on to verse 7. Through the star codes of the Kema form the dimensions for the biochemical rhythms of the atomic nuclei, which are created in Kizzle. Kizzle also shapes the higher astrochemical wavelengths of the Khalab, which are not created by negative mass. So the Khalab, the sun, is not created by negative mass. Kizzle shapes the higher astrochemical wavelengths of the Khalab. So you have astrochemical. So you're taking chemistry combined with space. And so now you end up with a Khalab. Kizzle created that. In other words, the Elohim are creating our sun so that it can take care of, so we can live in this, what did it call it above? Biochemical testing zone necessary to divine life. So I'm telling you, it's explaining how this all works. Where are we at? I think we're going to stop at verse 7. Oh, yeah, we still got verse 6. Through the energy of Z, now we better look up that. Man, let's go look up that. Z, the polarization which can mediate between the body of consciousness and its divine double, a divine light projection which triggers biocoupling in physical manifestations of Zo. Now, through the energy of Z, the Lords of Light transform the world of negative mass into magnetic tunnels where particles are cycled and recycled, allowing some forms of starseed evolution to unfold into given forms of light continually. Thus, physical life proceeds out of mass evolution. Physical life, this is our bodies. This is what we touch. Of course, when we die, when our material flame is extinguished, our spirit goes into the fifth dimension. Well, it will leave all of this, what he's talking about here, behind. Physical life. So through the energy of the Z, these Elohim, the Lords of Light, the angels, as a lot will call them. So you have a negative mass surrounding the universe. And then you have the sun in the middle. And it is the angels who, what it says, through magnetic tunnels, where particles are cycled and recycled. Let's look up that. See if he can tell us what that is. Like, what do he do over here? Magnetic tunneling could be a metaphor for pathways of channels of energy that transcend physical laws, yes? In the literal science sense, magnetic tunneling refers to the phenomenon where particles can pass through a barrier that would normally be insurmountable due to the quantum mechanic effects. Here, however, it seems to describe the metaphysical or spiritual tunneling of energy that allows the particle or consciousness to move beyond the typical limitation. Let him read the summary.
Summary. In essence, the passage describes a metaphysical process where energy and particles are transformed and recycled through magnetic tunnels, allowing for the evolution of higher states of consciousness and light. This process of recycling energy and matter through these tunnels enables the evolution of spiritual or starseed beings toward more enlightened states. The concept blends ideas of quantum physics, like tunneling, with spiritual evolution, suggesting a continuous cycle of transformation that brings both physical and spiritual life closer to higher forms of light and continuity.
Okay. So I must have slept in that class. Write a dissertation on magnetic tunneling. Let's read the abstract.
Dissertation: Magnetic tunneling, the quantum phenomenon of particles passing through insurmountable barriers. Abstract: Magnetic tunneling is a fascinating quantum mechanical phenomenon wherein particles, such as electrons, pass through potential energy barriers that... This dissertation explores the phenomenon of magnetic tunneling, its underlying principles within quantum mechanics, and its real-world applications. The dissertation begins with a review of the theoretical framework of quantum mechanics, followed by a detailed discussion of the tunneling effect, its implications for magnetic systems, and the mathematical models that explain it. Additionally, it explores experimental evidence for tunneling, applications in various fields, such as magnetic storage and superconductivity, and the future prospects of tunneling in quantum technologies.
And the conclusion?
Chapter 6: Conclusion and Future Prospects. Magnetic tunneling is a crucial phenomenon in quantum mechanics with a wide range of applications in technology, particularly in data storage, spintronics, and quantum computing. As research into quantum systems continues to advance, the exploitation of magnetic tunneling in new devices and technologies will likely play a significant role in the development of next-generation electronics. Future research may focus on improving the efficiency of tunneling processes, understanding tunneling in complex materials, and integrating magnetic tunneling with emerging quantum technologies.
Yep, and according to the Keys of Enoch, sounds like it's going to be merging also with the spiritual. So we'll be looking into that. Like I said, make sure you guys are subscribed. So it is through the magnetic tunneling. So you have magnetic flux. You put two magnets together and you notice that they don't want to touch. Well, it is that type of environment that the Elohim, the angels, are transforming the negative mass which surrounds us to be created. What is it? Given forms of light continually. All right, so like I said, we'll look more into tunneling. We are already doing work with magnetism anyway, and I believe now that this is where our Father is leading us to help make this connection with, what does it say up there? This is an energy. This magnetic tunneling is an energy, and that's one of the things, like I said, I was working on is magnetic propulsion. I have ideas for a magnetic windmill that would basically work just like a simple windmill, with the exception that you have, instead of water, you have two opposing magnets that would push against each other. If you want to help with that, let us know. You can reach us at inthefight@yahoo.com. That is INTHEFIGHT@yahoo.com, or in the comment section of this video. Let's go on to verse 7. It says, through the star codes of Kema form the dimensions for the biochemical rhythms of the atomic nuclei which are created in Kizzle. Kizzle also shapes the higher astrochemical wavelengths of the kolob, which are not created by negative mass. So the codes come from Kema, and so they are created in Kizzle by the lords of light, the angels, which also creates the sun. And all right, so let's go to verse 8. Moreover, in these higher creative functions, there are myriad arrangements of patterns for astrochemical destiny in the heavens, whereby both Kema and Kizzle are cooperatively used in the programming of life synthesis from the pure light bodies of the Kizzle into the transfigured corresponding physical forms of the Kema programs. So that's how it works. That's how we were created. In this verse, we learn how we were created. And And with that, we're going to close this video out. We'll continue on at verse 9 in the next one. And like we said, make sure you're subscribed. And if you got anything out of this video, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. But let us know down in the comment section. Either way, whether you like it or you didn't, let us know so we could try to improve. And we'll see you down there. Shalom.